Hi, I'm Norman Liss, and the name of the program is The Way to Go. Each week at this time, we explore together places to go and things to do. We're going to explore the theater today, and we brought back a guest who was on the program a year ago, Robert Cuccioli, who, as you may remember, was the star of Phantom when it was at the Westchester Broadway Theater. Well, Robert Cuccioli is coming back to the Westchester Broadway Theater, and he will be starring in City of Angels. And I'm so glad that you could be here again today so that we can talk about what's happened in the past and what's happening in the future with you.
Oh, thanks, Norm.
So this has been quite a year for you. A lot of things have happened.
Yeah.
How has all this affected you?
Well, it started off shocking me. Quite a lot hit me at once. A lot of notoriety, a lot of fame is not the right word, but a lot of attention, and that being thrust at someone that abruptly, it threw me for a loop. It took me a while to adjust to it, and to get comfortable with it now, and. But now life is adjusting, and it's just been a remarkable year.
Well, let's bring our audience into some of those things that have happened to you. A Phantom opened, and it became a smash hit.
Yeah, well, that is the bulk of what I'm talking about. I mean, I did that for almost a year. It was 10 months maybe of Phantom. Of course, 1 month of that I was out of commission because I had broken my foot.
Yeah,
in performance.
I always felt that maybe I was the jinx because after you had been on this program, and we did talk when you were just starting rehearsal for Phantom, and then during one of the previews, you had a little accident.
Yeah. Well, actually, there's an old term that all performers say to one another before they start the show: break a leg. And actually, that was the first show that I never said it to anybody. And, there's another term, all dancers say merde, and I won't say what that means on the air, but I said that to people before the performance, and lo and behold, I broke my foot.
Yeah.
And
you were coming off I wasn't there for that performance, you were coming off the rope in one of the...
There was a stunt where I had to jump from a catwalk, which is 10 feet above the stage, and slide down a rope and be very gallant and swash my buckle and grab Christine and sing the button to the act. Well, one night I slid down the rope and I swashed my buckle and I landed hard on my foot and landed right on my butt, and then finished the stunt and I picked up Christine and went down, and I put her down afterwards, and I couldn't walk. Just the adrenaline, I guess, kept me going through that, through the rest of the stunt, but my foot was broken, and I was rushed immediately to the hospital, and the rest of the performance was canceled.
And then they brought in someone else until you were ready. You came back, and then of course you were a sensation.
I came back. Thank you. I came back and with my cast on, and did it a little bit like Richard III does the Phantom, limping around with this big old boot on my foot.
But the show itself, as you say, played here a long time.
Yeah.
And there were standing ovations and highly acclaimed reviews everywhere. What did that do for you? I know it was having that much focus. You'd been in other things. You certainly were in the original cast of And the World Goes Round in New York, and you'd done the Rothschilds in 2 different productions where I first saw you.
Right.
But this was different, wasn't it? Phantom was different for you.
Phantom was different because it was a starring role, number one, and The World Goes Round was a huge feather in my cap because it was a tremendous success off Broadway, but it was an ensemble piece.
Yes.
The whole show got the notoriety. Each of the individual performers also did, but it's much different when you're starring in a piece. And since it wasn't very well known, and such a buzz happened as soon as we opened, a lot of people from Manhattan came up, and I'm talking directors and casting people and stars and peers, and such a buzz happened within the city that if your name is circulating, and I'd been very fortunate that my name went from Rothschild's right to World Goes Round, and then right to this. So it went from one to the next, and people said, well, who the heck is this guy? And so that really propelled me.
But one of the things that was wrong with Phantom, if I may say so, is that nobody ever saw your face. And and now in City of Angels...
I had a lot of acne in those days. I'm glad that they did.
But the City of Angels is going to give everyone an opportunity not only to hear the voice, but also to see the face. And,
it's a completely different part, too. It's something that I don't normally get a chance to play. I get cast as the villains and the anti-heroes, and occasionally a hero when he's, dark and imposing. And Stone in City of Angels is a very laid-back, Sam Spade, James Bond kind of a character, and one that I've never gotten to play before, and I love those people.
The show itself, which had a very, very successful run on Broadway, I think it won the Tony, too, or certainly was an award-winning. I know that it was very highly acclaimed.
I think it did.
But one of the interesting parts about it is that there's kind of a play within a play, and part of it's played in color and part in black and white.
Right. Well, it's the present day, which is the 40s at that time, and this character Stein had written a screenplay, and the screenplay is going on at the same time the actual present day play is, and in order to split the difference, to show the contrast, one's in black and white to show the movie, and one's in color to show the present day.
That's quite a bit of stagecraft.
Yeah, and stage characters go from present day into the book, and they have different roles there, and intermingling, and it's a lot of excitement. It's a lot of fun.
When I saw it on Broadway, I knew it was a good show, but I really was amazed at how really great it was, because you walk out of there and saying, I've just seen a great show, and so I'm really looking forward to seeing it again.
The music is fun and upbeat.
With some top-flight people. Cy Coleman, who's done so many great things, has written the music, and Larry Gelbart has written, and of course everybody knows Larry Gelbart's name from MASH and all the other things that he's done. And it's going to be a great experience. So how do you change roles? How do you move from one to the other? I think we ought to make the point here that you're only going to be in the show at the Westchester Broadway Theater for the first 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Starting in September through October 17th.
Right.
And so people who really want to see you in the role of Stone really have to see the show early on.
Well, I'd be flattered if they did, yeah.
And the reason for that?
Well, the reason for that, and I don't mind saying this, I will have to leave the show because I'll be going on to Broadway to do Les Miserables. I just got that at pretty much at the same time when City of Angels was offered to me.
It's your first Broadway show.
This is my Broadway debut, and boy, you can't turn that down, especially in a show like that.
And you're doing a major role in it.
I'm playing Javert, who is the inspector of the police, and it's a very major part.
It is a major part.
Yeah.
You have some wonderful numbers in that. I know. I listened to that tape a lot. I think it's a great visual show, but it's also a great show to listen to.
Yeah, it's back to one of those intense parts again. I keep on getting back to those.
Intense parts, but you're not an intense person. And what is this? Are you a character actor? You talk about the type of roles that you play. You're a leading man. You say that you play the heavy so often.
Yeah.
But you're not a character actor.
Well, I don't know. The definition of that is a little vague to me. I mean, what exactly is character actor? Someone who plays a character part. But to me, acting is acting. I mean, you deal with emotions, you deal with physicalities, you deal with what else? But you need that facility to do any role, whether it's a leading man or a character. And I'm fortunate that I do have a very intense side, and I do have a very light comic side, and my range of emotion is pretty wide.
But there are certain actors who are always playing themselves, no matter what role they play.
Yeah.
But there are other people who are always different. Not only do they change their appearance physically by growing a beard or changing a hairstyle, we'll talk about your hairstyle in a minute, but there are people who are always themselves, and yet there are people who are actors, whether it be in a musical role or not, who are different every time you see them, and you can hardly believe it's the same person. I think a lot of that is you. Of course, in Rothschilds, you were one of the sons, and it wasn't so long ago that you weren't a mere boy. And this wasn't Annie,
right.
where you grew up and went into Les Mis, as I understand that the gal who originally played Annie is going into Les Mis.
Right.
Yeah. So, hey, so you're growing up and going into Les Mis.
Don't remind me. You're not getting these gray hairs, are you? I think that every actor is playing himself when they're doing a role. It's just that some actors can tap into different emotions that are a part of them better than others can. So if you see someone who plays a wider range of characters, I think this person is facile enough that can tap into lots of different aspects of his personality. The Phantom is a very brooding, disturbed. I'm not disturbed, but there's a lot of different high emotions in them, and there's a lot of high emotions in me. Throughout the years, that's ridden waves, and it's controllable now, and I'm able to tap into these when I need them as an actor. Some actors either don't have that kind of range or can't tap into that easily. I mean, it's very hard to. We're dealing with psychology here and so, pulling out emotions at a drop of a hat.
We talked about this before. When you're off stage, you don't turn the character off.
Sometimes it's difficult to, because you go through so much to get that out that I personally can't snap it off that quickly. It takes me a while to calm it down. We
did casually mention hair, your hair. Yeah. You're certainly going to have to cut it since you're playing someone in the 40s. So
this isn't the 40s hairstyle. No, it's got to go. It's got to go. I grew it for Phantom. They wanted me to have a longer haired look, either that or wear this fright wig kind of a thing. And I said, no, I don't want to wear that wig. So I grew my hair long, and I felt, well, I like the look. Let me keep it that way until I have to cut it. So it's going to have to go for City of Angels.
And you're playing a Phantom again somewhere else.
Yeah, actually, I leave this Friday to go to Atlanta to play Phantom.
And then you'll be back to play
for a week, then
City
come back and immediately go into rehearsals for City of Angels.
It must be difficult learning a complete role and shoving it in your head and then putting it aside and learning a new one and then doing another one and a few weeks after that.
Yeah, well, it is kind of rough. Actually, with Phantom, last time I did that was last April, and I just started cracking the book again to get back into rehearsing it, and I was surprised as to how much I'd forgotten. I think that it was such a highly emotional show for me, and by the time it was done, I was pretty exhausted. And I wanted to get rid of that for a while. I wanted to get that heightened reality out of my system for a while. And with that, everything else kind of went out the window too. So it's taking some time to get that back into my system again.
It's not like opera where once you learn a role, you can always sing that role. I guess you really have to work at it, though, in anything that you do. You have to relearn it, although part of it is still within you.
Yeah, I think even opera singers have to refresh their memory before they get back on the stage to do a part they haven't done in a while.
A lot of things happen at the Westchester Broadway Theater. The stage itself, they put some hydraulics in for Phantom.
Yeah.
And of course, Grand Hotel had made use of some of the things. The orchestra was up above as it was for Phantom.
Right.
Now, in between Grand Hotel and City of Angels, Nonsense is playing,
Right.
and which was a fun show when it ran before, and now it's come back. Great, I've loved it there. Every theater presents something different to you. You have a thrust stage, is surrounded on three sides, as you do at this theater. Some theaters played in the round, some are with a proscenium. Does that make it more difficult for you?
Some of them do. Some of them are easier. I personally like working in the round and working on a thrust stage because it's more natural for me. If you work, I mean, I can talk to you directly, and this audience is going to see me. I don't have to worry about cheating myself out, which is on a proscenium stage. The audience is just here, so you have to cheat your body out, and it's more technical. If you're dealing on a thrust or in the round, it's more naturalistic. It's almost more movie acting, and I prefer that style.
And because of the size and the way the theater is laid out at the Westchester Broadway Theater, you're very close to everybody in the audience. So the audience is not way up there in the balcony.
It's very intimate.
Do you feel that audience?
Oh,
you
yes.
can even see them, I suppose, more than you do in a larger theater.
Yeah, actually, I think a lot of audiences don't realize how much they're felt and how much of a part they are of the performance. Because actually, I was doing Camelot years ago with Richard Harris, and a buddy of mine was in the audience, and he struck up a conversation with the woman next to him, and he said, "Oh, yes, I know the guy's playing Lancelot on stage," and they got into a conversation about. I had talked to him and said how much the audience was dead that night or didn't feel anything from them, and he translated this to this woman, and she was amazed that the actors really care. That the audience participates and applauds and laughs. And I think in this day and age with TV and movies and whatnot, people don't realize that with live performances, they're very much a part of that performance. The more that they give, that energy is felt by the performers, and they give that back even more, and it improves the performance.
People have said to me that they feel the audience even if they don't see them.
Yeah.
That you sense the reactions there.
Yeah, there's an energy. You can feel love. I mean, I don't want to sound woo-woo about this, but you can feel love, and you can feel that energy, and you can feel rejection as well. You can feel the icicles growing in that room if they don't accept you.
I suppose it varies from performance to performance. Day of the week, what's happening in the world, the matinee versus evening audience.
Yeah, I mean, some weekend audiences are people are out and they have dinner before the show. They have a big meal, or they have drinks and whatnot, and they may feel a little lethargic. But that doesn't mean they're enjoying it any less. It's just that we may not feel as much from them as you do in the beginning of the week, or people are more tired at the end of the week than they are at the beginning of the week. And yeah, there are a lot of different factors involved.
I had an interesting experience at the Westchester Broadway Theater. We had a small family party in one of the celebrity boxes. It was just 14 people. And then, of course, after the meal, the one wall is drawn, and then you're in this box overlooking the stage. Now, here was a group of just over a dozen people sitting there, all together, and we were reacting to the performance and to ourselves because we were a group all together. It really, you talk about reaction.
Yeah.
Here was a reaction that you could feel within this room, within this box.
Right.
part of the theater and yet not part of the theater. It was quite an interesting experience, and I'd never had that experience before. So I can understand what you're saying. It was a sense that I had. I couldn't see the people in the dark,
Right.
and yet there was a sense of knowing the people who were around me and feeling what they were reacting to.
Even sometimes when there's a sparse audience and people are very spread out, someone may be enjoying the show, a couple, or whether someone's in there individually, but may be afraid to react because they can't hear anybody else doing it,
Yes.
so they don't know whether they should or not.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, even the audiences affect the audience, of each individual audience member. It's a lot of different factors, and the performers have to read that and feel it and adjust.
Do performances change?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's live. It's not Memorex. it's you can't. You're not an automaton. You can't do the same performance every single time. So you may have a fight in the subway with somebody, and that's going to affect your performance. Someone's wife may have just had a baby that day, and that's going to affect your performance. Everything affects it.
I see, when I see performances at this theater, I see a spirit that everybody seems to be enjoying themselves and working together. I think that, too, is a reflection. If the company works well together,
Oh yeah.
and I suppose that has a lot to do with how it's put together and all the factors that are involved. I'm sure there are places like jobs where you take the job because it's a job, but maybe it's not a happy company.
True. Well, that has a lot to do with the casting end of it as well, because I know a lot of casting people and also directors that are very attuned to actors when they come into the room for an audition. They can sense this person's going to be trouble, or in the cast, or this person I could work with for a long time, and they tend to cast like people, and therefore the entire cast gets along very well. I've worked with a lot of casting people and directors that have worked that way, and it's been a successful company because of that. Phantom was like that. It was a really tight-knit, good company. Everybody got along with everybody else. There were no problems with anyone, and that's rare. That's rare because you're dealing with a lot of egos and a lot of different personalities, and
in a lot of shows you may cross paths with the same people and work with the same people in cast, and of course I suppose that helps a lot too, doesn't it?
It does, because it becomes a family.
Yeah.
You work with the same people. They keep showing up all the time, and you have a history with each other, and it becomes more of a family. Yeah.
It's like reunion time when the cast gets together and you see the people.
Exactly.
I noticed, for example, in the casting for City of Angels, that Ron Holgate is going to be playing a major role in there. Now, of course, he's a Tony Award winner from 1776, and he's played at the Dinner Theater before. He was in Shenandoah, as I recall. So,
and he did Lend Me a Tenor.
Lend Me a Tenor, yes.
And my co-star in this, Mark McGrath, who's playing Stein, we'd worked together a long time ago, and we're good buddies, and we're both looking very much forward to working together again.
And he's played at the Westchester Broadway Theater as well. So in the past he's done a few shows.
I don't know what he did though.
Yeah, but I know that he's been here before. His name is very familiar to me. So it's going to really be old home week. But this is an interesting show for several reasons. First of all, people have a good feeling about it because it was such a success on Broadway, and not so long ago. Second of all, it's got great talent who put it together, top-flight people who put it together. And a third, it's different. It's unique, and it's got great music. And I'm sure you reviewed all the music at this time, and
I know all my lines.
People should understand that sometimes we're taping the show weeks before it's actually seen, so so the show will be opening shortly, although we're taping the show.
But I better know all my lines.
And let's talk about Les Mis for a moment now.
Okay.
How do you feel about going into your first Broadway show? Is it
thrilled? And actually, for it to be Les Mis is an important thing for me, too, because ever since that show had opened, I had been fighting to get into it. And actually, I had auditioned about 4 times for that show for another part, for the role of Enjolras, who's the student leader.
Okay.
And it never worked out. I never got the job. And I went back again for another auditioning. I went back and back and back. Finally, it was a freakish kind of a thing how this happened. I auditioned for a completely different show last October, and it turned out that the producer of that show was the same one of Les Mis. And after the audition, I was walking out, and he came running down the stairs after me and said, Bob, yeah, you did great in there. It was fine. But I heard a different quality in your voice than I ever had. We've been trying to see you for Les Mis. Are you not interested in doing the show? What, are you nuts? Of course I'm interested in doing the show. He said, well, come on, we want to see you for Javert. So he got on the horn with my agent and got me the music, and I went in immediately and auditioned, and he said, yes, you'll be playing this part. We want you to play this part. And then he said, then it got postponed, and they said, you'll be doing it. We just don't know when yet. And finally, lo and behold, they called me at the last minute for this. And
So
it's been a long struggle to get into this thing, and I'm glad that it turned out to be that.
our audience has actually 2 opportunities now to look forward to. One is to see you in City of Angels at the Westchester Broadway Theater, and then starting in October to see you in Les Mis. So
Yeah.
it's a double header, really. Now, I think we should make it clear that City of Angels will continue at the Westchester Broadway
yes.
Theater
Yes, by
after
all
you
means.
leave in October, and it will run through the end of January.
Right.
So it's a great show, but if those who want to see you really have to make sure they see the show before October
yes, I appreciate
17th.
that, yeah.
One thing that we ought to do is to tell the audience where they can get more information about the show and the theater, and that telephone number.
The phone number at the box office is 914-592-2222. And
We'll just
they can take care of you there.
Yeah, and we'll make sure that we put that number up on the screen in the closing credits so that people can write it down and can call them. So what's the future now? Here we go. The Phantom has returned.
Yeah.
The Phantom is in City of Angels, and then the Phantom moves on to Les Mis, and
it's
who knows what's going to happen, right?
It's just a very exciting time for me
Well,
now.
I really congratulate you and good luck to you, and thanks for coming back here again. My guest today has been Robert Cuccioli, who will be co-starring in City of Angels at the Westchester Broadway Theater, and I suggest that you see it during its first 6 weeks before he leaves the show to go into Les Mis. I'm Norman Liss. The name of the program is The Way to Go. Until next week at the same time, enjoy yourself.